Hey, I'm Tom from WPWithTom.com, and in this video I'll be showing you how to create a website with WordPress. So I'll be using the Divi builder within this tutorial here, and I'll be showing you how to import a layout, how to make changes based upon the layout itself, and how you can go through changes on each page. I go through different aspects and how to make edits so you can make the website that you create within this tutorial or based on this tutorial to be perfect for whatever website you have in mind. So if that sounds good to you and you want to learn how to create a website with WordPress, let's dive into this tutorial now and get started. Alright, so before we dive into actually building out and creating our website, I wanted to go over some of the costs and be very upfront with you about them. So the first one is web hosting, and hosting is about $5 per month, but if you sign up for a longer plan, you can actually get a cheaper price. So when I sign up for this, I usually go with a 3-year plan or whatever the longest duration is, and that means that I can get the most bang for my buck and get the biggest discount up front. So if you think about this in terms of something like a brick and mortar business, you're never going to be able to rent something like a business or a location for your business or even a vehicle for your business for $5 or less per month. So look at it that way, where you can get 3 years of hosting for around $100, just over $100 with this plan if you sign up for a longer one. But if you want a shorter one, it's about $5 per month for the first year. So if we look right here, you also get a domain name for the first year for free as well, and that is something that a lot of people like to take advantage of. You can do this for a .com, and once that first year is up, the renewal will be roughly $15 per year. WordPress CMS is free and open source, and that's what we're going to be using in here. And any reputable hosting company, even besides the one I'm recommending here, GreenGeeks, is going to probably have WordPress CMS on it as an open source software option because WordPress is the most popular content management system out there. So the last thing I wanted to cover is the Divi theme and builder. So normally the Divi theme costs $89 per year and $250 for your lifetime plan. But with this, I have a 10% discount coupon in the description below, and it will bring it down to $80 per year and $224 for the lifetime plan. Now, I'll be using Divi because it's just so easy to make websites with it, and I've been using it for years. Honestly, I would highly recommend the lifetime plan because you can get that, and if you just sell one website or even make one for yourself and it makes you more income, it will pay for itself so quickly, and you'll still be able to get the updates and support for the lifetime of your usage with Divi. So I hope this helps you realize what the costs are up front here. I really wanted to be transparent about this and just tell you what to expect. So if that all sounds good to you, let's get started by going to the link in the description where we can use GreenGeeks to pick out our hosting plan and domain name to get started. So if we want to create a website with WordPress that's live and online, the first thing that we're going to need is hosting. So after you click the link below in the video description, you'll be brought to this page where you can choose one of the 3 hosting options. So we have Lite, Pro, and Premium. So the big thing that I wanted to point out here is that the Lite plan only has one website or one domain name, as a primary domain name can be on the account. So these ones can have unlimited websites with the Pro and Premium plan. So the 2 things that I also wanted to cover is that you get free SSL on each of these plans, and that you're going to be able to get the free domain name for the first year with each of these plans as well. So for most people that want to make multiple websites, I'd recommend going the Pro plan here. And for others that just want one website, I would recommend the Lite plan right here. So in this scenario, I'm just going to go through a walkthrough of choosing the Lite plan for one domain name, and I'll click Get Started here. And here's where we'll be able to choose our domain name for our plan. So we have 2 options. Once we get here, we can choose a free domain name, or we can choose to move an existing domain name there for 1 year for free as a transfer. So I'm going to assume that most people don't have a domain name already, but if you do, you'd go through this step. If not, we're going to go through getting a free domain name. So here I'm just going to put in a fake domain name. I would recommend that most people out there would probably choose .com for the domain name if it's available. But here I'm just going to put in WP Wonderful, and I'll check the availability. And it says, congratulations, this domain name is available. So here you'd want to fill out your information, but the most important thing I wanted to cover here is again that the duration of the plan matters. So if you went for a yearly plan, I told you it would be around $5 per month. It's $4.95 a month. if you sign up for 1 year, and 2 years would be $3.95 a month, and 3 years would be $2.95 per month. I also just wanted to point out here that you can choose to have Whois privacy, and this will basically keep your information private and not have it out there online where people can contact you. It's totally up to you if you want to have this. In reality, I feel like everyone's information is already out there, but it's up to you if you want to add this Whois privacy. You'll probably cut down on potentially people emailing you about doing website design or even calling you as well. So that's an option for you. If you don't want this, it'll be $106.20, and with it would be $116.15. So it is just over $100 for a 3-year plan, as I mentioned earlier. Now, once you're happy with your choices here, you can just go down and click Create Account and get started. So the next step from here is we'll actually go back over to where it says GreenGeeks, and they should email you with additional information. But what we're going to do is use the login that we just set up when you filled out that information and go to where it says Customer Login to get started. And we're going to log in here to the control panel to get started with our account. So let's just log in right now. And we'll put in our password and log in. If you want to, click Remember Me there. Now, to get started with installing WordPress, what we'll need to do is go to where it says cPanel right here once we log in. And we're going to be brought to this area. So here we have all different options that we can use for making websites. I'm going to go down where it says Softaculous Apps Installer and just click on that. And right here it's going to open up an area where I can use WordPress. I'll click Install on WordPress. And here it's going to bring me to my list of domain names. Now right now I have WP Fundamentals up here. That's which one I'm going to install this on. So in this case, I'm just going to go to where it says HTTPS, and I'll make that my primary. And I'm going to leave this blank for the indirectory. Now here is where you can name your site name and site description. So see right up here it says dashboard-GreenGeeks, and then over here it says GreenGeeks-Softaculous. So that's kind of what you would have here. So let's just say I'm going to name this one Web Design. And here I'm going to put We Create Beautiful Websites. And from here you want to choose a good admin and password. I'm going to change this to BWP Fundamentals, and this is case sensitive, just so you know. And I'm going to put in a good password. I'm going to hide it here. And this is something that you're going to want to remember and possibly write down, because you're going to need to retrieve this at times to log in. You're going to need to know this information. Now, if you do need to retrieve the password and you can't get it, you want to have a good email in here. So I'm going to do that as well. Put in one that you can actually get access to when they resend you a password if you were to forget it. And you can choose your site language right here. I'm going to skip down here. I'm not going to enable any of these things for now. And I'm going to go and click Install. And it says it will take about 3 or 4 minutes, but it never takes that long, I feel like. And there you go. It's already done. So at this point, we have our domain name and our URL here. And if for some reason this isn't working properly, you can actually reach out to them and have them help you with setting up your SSL to have this open properly. If I click on it, it should take us right into the dashboard. But if for some reason you're having issues with it, we can actually go over to where it says Security on the left side and go to Add SSL Certificate. And we can put in our domain name right here. And then you would select it again right here and then hit Continue to confirm and add an SSL certificate to make this a secure site. And that's how you would do it if you get stuck and it doesn't work from this place right here. Now what you want to do is you probably want to save this as well with your admin login and password. And this is how you're going to log in each time to WordPress. So mine would be wpfundamentals.com/wp-admin. This wp-admin is going to be at the end of your domain name. So that's what you're going to need to go to each time to log in. Once we click at this first time, it takes us right into here. And this is actually called the WordPress dashboard. So we're now into our installed WordPress site. We're done installing it. If we go over here and right click, click Visit Site, we can see that it looks like this with the 2020 theme. I'm actually going to X out of these two, and we're going to start changing the website. But now we actually have WordPress installed on our website with this 2020 theme here. So next, let's dive into how to change or tweak some of the default settings here within a WordPress dashboard before we dive into actually adding our new theme and creating our new site. Alright, so let's start cleaning up our website by deleting some things that we don't actually need on our website. So if we go over to where it says post, by default we have this thing that says hello world. We can actually just send that to the trash. It's just like a dummy post that they put on websites, and if we navigate over to where it says trash, we can go to delete permanently to get rid of that, and now it says one post permanently deleted. So if we go over here, we can see it says welcome to WordPress, this is your first post. If we refresh that, now it's gone and it's not even there. So if we go back over here, I'm also going to go down to where it says pages, and here we have a sample page. I'm actually going to go and trash that as well. Now I'll go over to the trash, and again I'm just going to go delete permanently, and now one page is deleted. So the sample page right up here in the upper right, if I refresh that, now that's gone as well. So we can also go down to where it says appearance themes, and here are our themes currently in our dashboard here, and I'm going to go and click on this one right here and then go to delete down in the lower right, this 2016 theme. We don't need that. In fact, we're not going to be using any of these, so we can go and delete again. But we must leave one of them as the active theme. So I'm just going to leave that one as is and go click on theme details and delete the 2019 theme as well. So now we're just left with this theme right here, just the 2020 theme. So the other thing I wanted to go over is if we go down to settings, actually we'll go to plugins first, sorry. If we go to plugins, there's two plugins in here. We can go click on this, and we're going to delete both of these, click apply and OK, and now they are deleted as well. If we click on this, there's no plugins here at this time. We're going to get into plugins later on in this tutorial here, but for now I just wanted to delete those ones. And lastly here I'm going to go down to where it says settings, and we'll start in settings general, and then you can actually change your title and your tagline. So if you see right here it says web design, we create beautiful websites. If I were to hover over it, you can see it pop up here. We create beautiful websites. So that's where that displays. If you want to, you can change that here. You can also scroll down here and change your time zone. So I am in UTC -5, so I'm going to change it to that. You can change your date, how it's displayed right here, or you can change your time right here. I'll just change it to that one. And you can choose when your week starts on. I'm going to put Sunday, and I'll save the changes at the bottom right here. And it will say settings saved once that goes into effect. Now you can do some other things within here, but the important one I wanted to go over is permalinks right here. And I'm going to want to change that to say post name. So it says wpfundamentals.com/sample-post. So we start with this one. It says p = 1, 2, 3. And if you were to go to a blog post, it might show up like yourwebsite.com/p = 574. And that doesn't tell you anything about the post. But if you had a design website and your article was about web design, you would want it to say yourdomainname.com/web-design. And that's how you would get that set up to be in this format. That helps your reader to understand what the actual article or post is going to be about, or your page for that matter to be about. And it also helps Google to have a better understanding of what you're actually trying to display on that web page and what that web page content can be about as well. So it overall just improves the experience for both users and search engines trying to figure out what the web page is about prior to actually clicking on it. We can go and hit save changes down here, and now it says our permalink structure has changed. So let's go over back to where it says appearance themes, and here we're going to get started on the next section here where we actually go over to elegant themes, and you can go to that through my link, which is wpwithtom.com/divi, and we're going to then sign up for elegant themes and get 10% off with that link when doing so. And we'll look at some of the layout packs that they have on elegant themes and see why it's such a good theme. So let's go over to elegant themes now by using the link below to sign up. Alright, so after navigating over to elegant themes, we can see that we have the discounted price with 10% off. You can see right here, here's yearly access and here is lifetime access, and this is just a one-time fee for the lifetime access. So there's a couple things that I wanted to go over before we actually dive into purchasing and setting up the theme here. If you wanted to learn more, you can go over to where it says Divi and Layouts Library, and you can see a lot of different layouts that come within here. I'm actually going to right click and open that in a new tab because I've noticed that if I actually open it in that tab and go back to it, the discount goes away, and then you have to reopen the link again. So when you get in here, you can see there's 140 layout packs and there's 1,036 total packs at this time. That number's always going up. So you can start to scroll through and see different things, like there's a learning management system type site, a restaurant one, coffee shop, yoga studio, copywriter, web agency, an SEO agency, and that's actually the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to right click and open this in a new tab, but I'll go back to that in a minute. And there's other ones down here, a juice shop. There's even a funeral home one down here I saw. So there's so many different kinds on here. If you want to, you can actually just click on them. So let's just go and click on this digital marketing one as an example. And here you can actually go and click on View Live Demo. And from here you can actually see what it will look like on the site itself if you were to import this as the layout pack that you wanted to use for your website. So you'd be able to import something like this and have this whole section right there ready to go on your site, and you would be able to edit it from here and use this as basically the base or the template to edit off of. So it's pretty nice to have something like that. I'm going to go back over to where I was looking at this one right here, SEO agency, and if I click on View Live Demo, this is going to be the one that I use as the base template here to edit. And I'm going to go through how to do some basic edits on our site and how to set some things up within Divi for our website itself. So this is just giving you an idea of some of the pages that are going to be on the site that we're making, and you can go through each of them and find one that looks good for you and what you want. There is literally almost anything you can imagine over here as far as these layout packs go, and with 100 and something of them to choose from, there's going to be something that you can work with and make a site off of. It might say dentist right here for an example, but maybe if you change a few things, you can make it into a website for your business, whatever that might be. So I would really look more at the design and how it's set up, and then try to pick a theme based off of that, or a layout pack based off of that if you're unsure. In this, I'm again going to be using the SEO agency one as the example that we're making in this. So that's going to be this one right here. So to go back over here, you can actually sign up, and it says get the discount while it lasts, and you actually can sign up today. Again, I recommend this lifetime access and just paying a one-time fee, because you can make your money back just by creating one nice website and then have all the updates for free for the rest of the lifetime that you're going to use Divi. So if I wanted to, I can already log into my account. Since I have one, I'll just go to account, and I'm already logged in right here. Now there's three key spots here, right here: product, downloads, my account, and support and docs. So in this product download section, we can download the Divi theme, download the Divi plugin, or we can actually go down here. There's a couple extra ones. So there's this extra theme, the Bloom email opt-in plugin, and the Monarch social share plugin. So I actually will probably just download the theme in this case and replace the current 2020 theme that we have in our dashboard area. So if we want to, we can click download the Divi theme, and I'm just going to save the file right here. And for the meantime, I'm going to go back over to where it says my account, and over here you can actually get your API key, and this is something that you're going to need to be able to get to activate your theme live on your site and have the continuous updates. So you're going to go into where it says API keys, and you're going to want to copy that key. Now something that you can actually do with Elegant Themes Divi theme here is you can actually create numerous API keys, and if you were to be designing websites for other people, or as an agency, or maybe as a freelancer, you can have control over those API keys. So let's say someone stiffed you on a payment of $1,000 for a website. You can prevent them from getting future updates. You can actually remove the API key. I'm not saying I would really want to go down this path, but you have a lot more control over your sites that you create for people and for yourself with this API key, and it's something that you should be aware of. So over here, there's the support and docs section, and right here there's 24/7 live chat. It's right here as well. I will say they're not super responsive from my experience, but they are pretty quick. They're quick enough. Here we have tech support. We have tutorials and documentation that you can follow through. Here is the Elegant Themes Facebook group, which is a pretty active group. You can see right here it says there's 130,000 followers on Facebook, and we have the community forum here where you can get questions answered, and you get support through there as well and they also have their own YouTube channel as well down there. So there's lots of different options as far as getting support, and I will say I think this is one of the better options for getting support in terms of builders for WordPress Go. I think they have it covered in a few different ways, and with being such a popular builder, there's so much info out there online and so many helpful tutorials that have been made over the time. From the first version until now, there's been so many tutorials and updates, and people are involved in the community. So it's a great theme and builder to get used to building with because it's popular and there's a lot of resources out there and a lot of people that can help you if you stumble along the way. So with all that being said, I'm going to go back over to where it says themes, manage themes here in the appearance section, and I'm going to go to add new, and from here I'm going to just click upload theme, browse, and I'm going to find the theme that I just downloaded. And within my download section, I'm not going to unzip this, I'm actually going to just install it as zipped file here, and I'm going to just click install now, and it's going to take a moment to install the theme here. And now it says the theme has installed successfully. I'm going to click activate, but before I do that, you can see right here is what our theme looked like. Now if we click activate over here, we're now going to have this as the primary theme. So I'm going to go in here and delete this one, the 2020 theme, and now we're left with just the Divi theme as our primary theme here. If we refresh, we can now see that we have the Divi theme enabled. It says Divi right there. Doesn't look like much right now, but we can add one of those layout packs like I just said earlier. So what I'm going to do is you may need to grab out of your My Account your API key right here to get updates. So you might want to do that. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to actually blur it out and grab it right now. And I will just copy that. You can click to copy it. And I'll go back over here, go to where it says Divi theme options. And I'll go to updates, this last section here, and it says username and API key, and it's all blurred out right here. I'm going to just put that in and put in my API key as well, and I'm going to save the changes, and it will give you this check mark if it was good. So now my API key is activated for future updates with the Divi theme. So that's what you'd want to do in that case. From here, I'm going to actually just X out of the Divi website, and now we're just left with our theme and our dashboard here. If we want to, we can go over to where it says Pages, and here we can actually go and click Add New, and we're going to start adding different pages to our menu here. So I'm just going to write Home at the top for this example, and then I'll click Publish, and now it's going to say Home is now live. Now I'm going to go to where it says Use Divi Builder, and I'm going to insert the layout pack or install this layout pack for the home page for SEO agency. So I'm going to choose a pre-made layout right here, and then it's going to load them, and right down here on the left is SEO agency. I'm going to click on that, click where it says home. You can see which one is highlighted by the darker color, and get to preview right there. And then I'm going to hit use this layout, and it's going to import it. It will take about 20 seconds or so each time, as long as you have a good host. And there it's imported. So now it's going to refresh the page, and now you can see it says home. It actually says home twice up here, so I'm going to have to get rid of that in the menu, but I'll get into that in a second. You can see that now we have this page loaded up on our site right here, and that is our home page. So to save it, we can go down and save in the lower right corner. If I were to actually X out of here without saving it, it would prompt me to save it, so don't worry about that too much. And now I'm going to go back into where it says dashboard, go over to pages again, and I'm going to add a few more pages. So I'm just going to go to add new. I'm also going to add a services page now, and I'll publish that as well. And I'll use the Divi Builder again. I'm going to do this for each of the pages just to get the 4 specific pages that I want. So choose a pre-made layout, and here I'm going to also scroll down to SEO agency. And here I'm going to go to where it says services, and then I'm going to use this layout pack and insert it. And again, it will just take a few seconds to insert this in, and it's good. Once we see that it loads for services here in a second, now we see now home and services are both in the menu. I'm just going to click save right down here, and it takes a second, and it is now saved. So I can go back to dashboard again, And I'll go to Pages, add new. And again, I'm going to add another one. This one I'm going to add pricing, and I'll publish it. If you don't publish it, it's just going to be saved as a draft. So we can go to Use Divi Builder. And if you wanted to, you actually could choose a different layout pack. So if I went to choose Premade layout pack, I could choose a different pricing thing from something else. So if I wanted to choose one from agency here and go with their pricing model, I can do that instead. But in my case, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to go back over to the SEO agency one, and I'm going to work off this one specifically. So I'll go to pricing, use this layout, and I think they're basically going to be working well together when they're created like this, and they're designed that way for a reason. So I'm trying not to overdo it myself and mix and match too many of them, but you can do that if you want. And I'll hit save here in the lower right yet again, and it's saved. And then we'll go to add one last one. If we go to Pages, add new, I'm going to add a contact page here. So I'll just click in here, write contact, use the Divi Builder, and this is our last pre-made layout here that we're going to be using. And it's the SEO agency yet again for the last time. Click here, go to contact, and I'll use this layout, and it's going to import it in a matter of seconds. And now we have our pages. I'll just hit publish right here because I forgot to hit publish instead of saving it as a draft. And now we have our pages. So if I went back to the dashboard here, let's refresh the site itself, and you can see it doesn't come up, and that's because we have two different home pages. So we have this home page, and then we have this home page right here, which would be more of what we want. But it actually says /home right here. So we're going to go through how to rearrange this menu. So if we go to where it says Appearance, Menus, we can see that we have no main menu structure right here. So what I like to do is I like to title this thing Main Menu and hit Create. And then from here, I'll just select all these pages that I just created, click Add to Menu, and then I'll make them the primary menu. So if we want to rearrange our menu order, you can actually click and drag it while holding it down and rearranging. And if you wanted to make a drop down, what you would do is simply just hold it and make it diagonal, and then it will say sub item. I'm not going to have any drop downs, and I'm actually going to put it in the order of home, services, pricing, and contact, and I'll just save it. Now if we were to go back over here and refresh, we're going to now have home, services, pricing, and contact the same way I just set it up back here. If you wanted to have a footer menu, which is at the bottom of the website, if you wanted something to display down here with your menu, you could also add a footer menu as well. I'm not going to do that in this case. I tend to like to just have the primary menu. Now to change this to have the correct homepage, we don't want to tell people to get to our website they have to go to wpfundamentals.com/home. We want to just tell them wpfundamentals.com to get to our website. So what you need to do is go over to Settings, Reading, and here you would select a static home page and choose that to be home. Now if you had a blog and you wanted to be a blog for a site, you would want this home page to be on your blog right here. But in this case, I don't have a blog, so I'm going to make this home page be home, and I'll hit Save Changes. And if we were to refresh up here, we can see that now it goes to wpfundamentals.com without the /home right here at the end. So that is our website, and now we have these pages on our website with home, services, pricing, and contact on our website, loading nice and fast there with GreenGeeks. So it's awesome that we have this set up, and now we can actually start building off of this and using this as our platform or our template to build off of and create a beautiful looking website. I actually already think it looks pretty darn good, but we can make it a little bit better and tweak it to what our desired needs are for our website. So let's first dive into how to edit this menu a little bit. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to go back over here, and I'll go to where it says Appearance and Customize within the dashboard area here. And here we can start editing our menu. You can actually edit a lot of different things within here. You can see on the left side that you can change a lot of different options, but a lot of these things you can also edit within the Divi Builder itself. I like to edit the header and navigation here for this menu right here on the spot so I can see the changes live here. So if we go to where it says primary menu bar, and from here we can start making changes. So up here we have this font size, and right now it says default theme font. If you want to, you can change that here, and there's a lot of different fonts to choose out of here if you want to change it. I'm going to just leave it as the default right here, but if you want to, you can change that. What I am going to do though is increase the size. So if you see text size, you can actually go and increase it and make it quite a bit larger. I'm going to go and make it probably 19, I guess, for this one is fine. Maybe 20 I like. And I'll leave it at 20, like an even number right there. So if we go down, you can also change the text color. I'm going to actually make the text color white, and you'll see why. It doesn't show up right now, but you're going to see why. I'm going to actually drag this up as well. And this is like a transparency level right here. So I'm going to make it full white right here. And now for active link color, I'm going to change that as well. So I'm actually going to make the active link color black. And you're going to see why I'm doing this in a second. So if we go and move down here to the background color. Now, as I said, this is a transparency right here. I'm going to actually drag this and make this fully transparent so you actually can see this whole image behind it right here. So if we go, we can drag it and you can adjust it. You can see it change over time as we drag that. You can actually use any color you want here. And if I wanted to have purple, I could do that. I could do whatever color I want, but I am just going to make it white, and then I'm going to make it transparent fully right here. So that is how you can set that up. I'm going to just go to publish so it puts it into effect here. And an important thing to look at here is how it's going to look on each page. So if you click on services, you can see that services is now the link that's highlighted since it is darker. Pricing is now the one that you're on. And then contact over here. And they all show up pretty well on this background here with the black and the white as the main colors here for your menu. So if you're happy with that, you can hit publish. I'm going to just go back here and I'm going to go down to where it says fixed navigation. So if we scroll, you can see it gets messed up, and that is our fixed navigation. So you see right here, you can't even see these menu options on this white background. You go down here, you can't see them at all. So we have to do something about that for when we scroll, and that's the fixed navigation settings. So what I'm going to do within this primary background color is I'm actually going to make it like a grayish color. So if I go over here and then I scroll down a little bit, you can see that it shows up pretty well right here, but this home link right here is hard to see on some of these backgrounds once we're scrolling. It's not always easy to see, but you can see the other ones pretty well. So I'm going to go down to where it says primary link color, and I'm just going to click the yellow one, and let's see how this looks. I'm going to make it full yellow here. So if we scroll down, and you can see the menu a little bit better there. I'm actually going to go and click default, and I'm going to go down to where it says active primary menu link color and make that one yellow instead. So I mix that up right here. Now you can see that there's that color right here. The primary link color right here, let's make that nice and white, and you can scroll down and see, now we can see this menu pretty well on this page. Again, I would check it on other pages as well. So if we go over to services and we scroll down, you can see it pretty well on that. So if you wanted to, you can actually have the whole menu look like this with your home, services, pricing, contact, and have it with a white menu with this light gray that you get when we scroll down. You can actually set that up as the default if you want it to be slightly transparent so you can still see this image behind. So I hope that makes sense. I'm just going to go and publish it, and then just recap right here. I covered where I changed the active link on the scroll. So that's this one is the active. And then the regular primary menu link color is this one right here. And then the background color is this darker color right here, this gray. So that's how you would change that for the fixed navigation settings when you actually go into a scroll. So we also have up here this magnifying glass, and that's for search. So if you don't want to have that in effect, you can go down to where it says header elements and it says show search icon. You can actually uncheck that if you don't want that in your menu. I think I'm going to take it out for this tutorial, but there are options in here. You can click show social media, and there it is on the right side. You can add a phone number, email. I'm going to leave all those things out for now. You can actually change the format as well. So right now it says default, and this light logo was over here that says Divi. We really can't see it too well, but if you wanted to, you can hit centered and you can see it above. You can put it inline, slide in, full screen. Really, the only ones I think are decent are default and centered, and I'm going to leave it as default and hit publish. And if we want to start changing this logo, we can go into how to do that. Let's actually click this X right here, and we'll be brought into the back end, and we're going to go to Divi theme options right here, and this is where we can actually upload our logo. So let's go into how to create a logo here next. Alright, from here there's going to be a website that we're going to need to go to. If we open a new tab, it's called logomaker.com, and that's logomakr.com. There's no E in maker. Once we get to this site, it's actually a free to use tool. I've used it in tutorials in the past, and basically there's a walkthrough that's going to go through each step. You can find an icon, you can add text, change color right there, and you can save it. You can actually change the sizing right here as well, up in the upper right. But I'm actually just going to get one real quick. I'm basically just going to make an icon. So I'm just going to type in here computer for this example, and I'll just pick a basic computer like this one right here, where I'm going to be able to have a lot of space to work with, I guess. I want to have a open canvas here. I'm actually just going to add one letter. I'll add a W for the text, and I'll have that in the middle. I'm going to bold it, and I'll make it take up a good portion of the screen. Let me just resize this, so you can drag the corners to resize it, and I'm going to kind of line it up like that, and I'll drag it down a little bit more on the corner, and that looks good enough for me. So if I go over here to the color wheel, we can change the color of the text, and I'm going to make this text very light over here. You can barely see the W, but that's fine for what I want. If I click on this, I can also go and change the outline of the computer as well, and I want that to be light as well. Now the reason why I want it to be light like this is because the background here on our site is darker, so you barely can see Divi in gray here, so we want it to be almost white, so it's going to show up on that background. So I'm going to do it just a little bit. I'm going to give it a little bit of color, but barely any, so you can see it there, and now you very faintly can see it right there like that. So to save it, I'm just going to go and click Save Logo in the upper right, and I'm going to click No Thanks, download the low resolution file in this case, and this just gives us a free file. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to find the file. So it's in my download section. I can actually go over back in to the Divi theme options. The first one under general is logo, and I'm going to click upload, select file, and it's in my download section. There's the logo. So what I would recommend doing is, if you have a name for your website picked out, I would put that here. So this might be website design, I'll just call it, and then I'm also going to just copy and paste that in where it says alternative text. That is something you want to do for best practice as far as search engine optimization goes, and I'm just going to click set as logo here in the lower right, and I'll save the changes up here. So we can adjust this a little bit, but let's refresh and we'll see what happens to this logo right here. And once we refresh, there it is. It looks pretty small right there on that design, so we can actually adjust it if needed. So to adjust the sizing naturally within our page, we can go to Appearance, Customize, and then we can actually go right into the section where it says Header and Navigation, Primary Menu Bar, and you can choose how big your logo menu height is right here. So if you want to make it smaller, you see it shrinks. If you make it larger, it gets bigger. So if you want to, you can have it somewhere around 100% if it's small on your site. I'm just going to leave it as is right here. Actually, I'm going to make it 95 because I like the number more, and then I'll just publish it right here. So that's how you can make a quick logo. You can spend a lot of time in here designing something. You are supposed to give credit for the logo, and it has instructions. I actually just clicked out of that by mistake, but you can design this logo and take your time using text, shapes, different colors here, and the color wheel over here, and design something nice. I would just recommend that you look at what's possible with your background color. Now again, you can also change this so it has a light background here, and then make the logo look better or pop a little more on it. But there's a lot of different options. Just make sure you're using a lighter color on a darker background, and a darker color would look better on a lighter background, obviously. So that's how you would set that up. If we go back over here, I'm actually going to exit out of this and go back into the dashboard and just show you right in here that there's a couple other things that we can do within this Divi theme options section. So right here we have our different options for our social media icon. So if you want to show Twitter icon, you can do so here, or you can disable it here. If you want to do Google Plus or not, you can disable that. I'm going to disable that one for now. I'm going to disable the RSS icon. And down here is where you'd actually put in links. So if you had a Facebook link, you would put that in here. You could use the WPWithTom.com Facebook group link. There is a private Facebook group that I have that you can join, or you can like the page. And then here you would want to put your Twitter. So I put twitter.com/WPWithTom in my case, and that's what you'd want to put in here. Now these are basically just placeholders when you have the pound symbol or the hashtag symbol right here. It's just a placeholder for a link to go into. It actually won't go anywhere once this is in here. So you can have this to be able to show the icon on the actual page, but it won't link anywhere at this point. So adding your link will make it a linkable page or linkable icon at that point. So that's where you'd want to put them. The other thing I wanted to cover real quick is you can have this back to top button. I'm actually going to enable that right here. I like to use this on almost every site I have. I'll save the changes up here. And I'm actually going to X out of Logo Maker now. But if we were to just refresh this page, let's see what it looks like when we have this back to top button. It should be in the lower right. And we'll scroll down. Now you see it pop out of the page. So if we wanted to, now we can just click this and it will take us right back up to the top of the page. So that's good, especially if you don't have your menu as a fixed menu here, which is also an option right here. If you don't want your menu to display the whole way down, it can be removed if you take off this fixed menu option, and then it really pays to have this to navigate back up to the top of the page with that button. So I just wanted to show you that as an option. Next, I'm actually going to get into start editing some of the home page here on our site and start going through each of these pages and showing you how to get more familiar with the Divi Builder and how to edit things within it. So let's dive into that next. Alright, so again, let's just run through some of the basics here of the Divi Builder itself. And I'm not really planning on editing this entire site bit by bit or aspect by aspect throughout this entire site. This would take hours for me to do. And I've done that in the past, and some of those tutorials were 3, 4, 5 hours long when I do that, and it really kind of gets repetitive, I feel like. So what I'm going to be trying to focus on here is just making some changes throughout the site. As we go page by page through this, I'm going to show you how to change different aspects of what's kind of important on the page and just teach you how to do some basics or some things that you can apply to any website that you're going to be making with the Divi theme going forward. So the first thing I wanted to point out that within the Divi theme here, if we go over to where it says pages, we can see that as we saw earlier, it says edit with Divi on these pages. So just like we did when we installed those pre-made layouts, we could go in here and click edit as well, and it's going to say edit this page with the Divi Builder. So we can do it from within this area in the dashboard, or we can do it right here at the top of the home page right here. So when we're logged in, this is the only time we're going to see this bar up here, and then we can actually click Enable Visual Builder up here as well, so we can start building from the front end of our site. Now sometimes it does take a moment for it to load, so just be patient, and there it goes. It was actually pretty quick. So in here now you can see that there's these boxes that surround the areas. You can actually see this one right here. It's a light blue. It goes around the whole border of the actual site there. If we see right here, this border surrounds this area, and then we have individual ones for this text here and for this contact form here, and it's going to be like that throughout the site on each element as we go through the site itself. So you can actually edit them very easily right here on the screen. So let's just say, for an example, that you don't like this background image. So you want to add your own image. I would recommend going to somewhere like unsplash.com if you're not sure about adding images. If you want a beautiful scenery type picture or something like that, Unsplash is a great option. But if we hover over this and go right up here to where it says section settings, we can actually click on that. And then right here it will say background. We have this content design and advanced tab. We're going to be in content. We can go to where it says background, and you can see it right here. So you can actually go and delete it, or you can click on it and then add a new one from your site or upload a new file, just like we did with the logo. And you can actually go and change how it's laid out with a different background color. So if you wanted to add a specific color as the background, you could do that here, and it would change the entire background of the site. So I'm going to leave it as is, but that is how you would change this whole image here on the background at the top of the site. And you could do that throughout the site on each page if you want to. So I'm going to X out of that one. It says discard all changes there. And next I just wanted to show you how easy it is to actually edit text on the page. So right here it says your business SEO solution. You literally can click in there and start changing the text. So maybe we change it to be your web development solution, like that. Or you could say your web dev solution to make it fit a little bit better. You can word it however you want, or you can actually resize the text as well. So if you wanted to, again, you can click in here and start changing the text. If we click out of it and then we go in and hover over it, it says module settings. You can click here and then you can start changing it from within here. So it says button text, learn more. You can change all of that right within this section. You can change this text right in here as well. And let's just say I wanted to change this text, and I'm just going to write something simple. I'll help you create a beautiful website with Divi. And then if I want to, I can save that right here. And then the other way that you can save your changes is down in the lower right. If we click on this, again, it's going to say save down here. And that is how it saves in the lower right, just like when we uploaded our demo content. So let's say we want to edit this button right here. We can actually go and click on the settings as well. Go to where it says design, and it will say button right here. We can actually change the button. So it says text color. Let's just say we want it to be yellow for some reason, and we wanted the button background color to be a different color. So we'll click on here and let's just make it black. And now we have that, and now it has a border width here. We can actually go and make it nothing if we want it to be small. It was 12 before, so let's just go and make this 12 again. And here we'll make the border color black as well. So now we have a black button here for this example. If you like that, you can just hit save, but you can mess around with that and get whatever button you want. I think it looks a little weird, but if you did scroll down, our link color becomes yellow here, so it kind of fits a little bit with that once we're scrolling through the site. So again, if you wanted to change your contact form, you can go in here and edit it. You can actually delete different fields here, or you can go into where it says design fields and you can change the text color, for example, on a field. Let's say you want it to be like black, so you can actually see it a little better. That's how you would do that. You can change all different things within the fields. You can change text alignment. Let's just say we want it to be center. For some reason, you could do that. Align it to the left. You can change the size. There are so many options that this is why it would take 4 or 5 hours to go through an entire tutorial about how to do this. Now, if you're happy with that, you can actually hit save, and then I'm going to just scroll down. So let's just say you find something that you don't like, an element that you just want gone completely. You don't even want to replace the content that's there. Maybe I have a section. Let me just find one that I don't like for some reason. I'll just go with this one right here. Let's say I don't like this section. I can even trash it right here, just the element. I can trash this, or I can delete the whole section right here. So it will give you this box around so you can see the whole section that's going to be deleted. I'm going to actually delete the section here, and now we can see it goes from this into this one right here. So you can actually change the padding between each section. So if we go right up here, we see that it says 90 px here when we hover over it, and that's 90 pixels of padding between the two sections. You can actually go down here, and I'm going to save it again to enable all these changes that we just made. And then again, here's another section that you might be interested in. So if we were down here, we can actually click on this. Let's say you don't want all of these options. You can go in here and maybe delete Google Plus, for example, and it deletes it live right there on the screen. Let's say you don't want to have LinkedIn on here, and we'll leave Instagram, and I'll just save it. Now again, if you want to link to certain pages here, we can click on this, and it will say link, and here is where we put our Facebook link. So that's how you would get to that. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to save right here, save it again, and I'll go down here in the lower right just to save it to make sure it's 100% saved. And that is how we would edit those icons there. So I'm actually going to exit the Visual Builder for now. and I'm going to move over to the services page where we can go over some other things. So let's dive into the services section here now and change a few things to just get the hang of some minor edits here on Divi. Alright, so here on the services page, we're just going to go through some quick edits here and show you how to change a few other things on our site. So right here we have these what we do icons, and it gives us some text with an icon above it. Now if we enable the visual builder, we're going to see that we actually can edit or delete those icons, but the images themselves are actual images and you can't just change the icon there. So if we clicked on this right here, we can see that that's an actual image that someone added to the site as part of the demo or the pre-made layout. So let's say we wanted to add our own. We can actually go down here, and here is how you would add more images. So right here I'm going to click add new row, and here you can choose how wide your row is. So this would be a single row, this would be with 2 items, and this would be with all 3 right here. So let's just go, and I'm going to hit 2, and it's going to give us 2 new blocks here to start adding into for these modules. So the module I'm going to look for is called a blurb. So within here we can see where it says image and icon under the content section. If we click on that, we can click use icon, yes, and now I'm going to move this over here out of the way, and we can see right now there's no icon. It says your title goes here. Now let's see if we have an icon from this list we want. Let's say we want this check mark here. We can add that, and then we can do some other things with this check mark. If we want to go down, we can change the background behind it if you want to. I'm going to leave these things as is. I'm going to go over to where it says design, and then I'll click image and icon. Here we can choose the color. So if we click on this, let's say we want a different color. We want it to be like this blue check mark. We can do that. You can go all over on this color wheel and change it to fit your site. So let's just go with that right here. And I'm going to hit the check mark. Actually, let's go back into it. Sorry about that. I'm going to edit, and it says your title goes here. We can change that. So something I should have pointed out in earlier on a home page here is that if we want to, we can change the text here. So right now it says paragraph. You can change things to be different sizing here other than paragraph. So you can also go into design, and then you can go into title text right here, and you can change the size right here. So you can make it larger or smaller and change the font type right here. So you can change everything within here, and you can find something that looks pretty good. It's going to show you what it's going to look like as you hover over. You can see it will change the font. So let's just see basic will look like that. If we change to basic, that's what it would look like. But it gives you an idea, and you can actually type in font. So let's just say I want bitter, which is one I use a lot. I can add that in right here. And I can change the font weight to be bold. If I want it to be a little bit thicker, I can change it to be centered underneath. You can make all of these changes within here. You can change the size of it. So you can figure out what you want and then add it in right here. And then you can also go back to where it says content, text, and down here you can change this as well. So let's just say I want to select all that. I'll do Control A to select it all, and then I'll center it as well. And now we have this centered right here. I'm going to just save it. And something that you can do that's pretty cool is if you're on here, you can actually hover over it and then click duplicate module. And you can then have a second module right here, and you can actually drag it and drop it right over to the right. And now we have 2 of them. And you can use this to edit. So let's just say you want a different icon. You can go in here, go to image and icon, and then you choose a different icon that fits for whatever you want. And I'm just going to click on this one, hit yes, and now we have a microphone icon right there. So that is how you could actually change that and add in your own icons rather than using these images, and then you can alter the text as well. So that's a pretty cool thing to know how to do with blurbs there. So let's say we want to go down a little bit on the site, and we can look at this section right here. Now these are pretty cool, these bar features here. If we hover over that and we click on the module settings icon, we can then go into them. You can actually expand this if you want to see it larger, or you can go and minimize it to see it smaller. I like to see what's going on here, so I'm going to move it to the left side. And right here it says data analysis. And if we click on that, we're going to be brought to this, and it says 82%. And that's how much of this bar is taken up. So if we were to change that to 95, it's going to take up more of the bar. Or if we were to change it to 9, it's going to be less. So let's just move it to 95. And then another thing you can do is go into where it says design, bar, and then you can change the color right here. So you see it changing right here on the screen as we make those changes. That's how you do that. And in the content section where it says text, you can change the title right here from a data analysis to something else. So if you're happy with that, you can just save it, and that's how you'd be able to change all of those with this bar counter setting here. So the last thing I wanted to just cover on this page here for services was resizing some padding. So right here we have padding. You can actually go and just hold and drag it, click, hold, and drag, and it will change the spacing between each section. And that's something I should have showed you earlier, but that's a good thing to know how to do. Right now all the padding on each of these is 90, so I'm going to have it basically be at 90 right here if I can get it. And there we go. So you can change the padding and spacing between each of the sections by doing that. You just hover over it and then it will pop up and you click, hold, and drag on it, and that is how you resize the padding. So I hope this helps with showing you how to do those things on this page. Again, you can edit the icons, you can edit all this text on every page of the site. It's very easy to do. So now that that's wrapped up, I'm actually going to again exit out of the builder. I'll make sure I save and exit. To save those changes I just made, it will save down here in the lower right. We get the check mark, and now we can go over to where it says pricing and start editing some of the things on this pricing page now. Alright, so this is the pricing page here, so I'm going to be going over basically how to change this pricing plan or this chart here more than anything on this page. But first I actually wanted to dive into making the background a different color. So I'm going to enable the visual builder here, and our other pages of the site were more of this purplish color. And if you go up in here right for the settings for the section and you go to where it says background, you're going to see that this is the current background right here. And if we click over here, you can see that it takes that shape or that design away. That design is basically over top of it. So if we wanted to, we can go right here and we can actually change the colors right here, or we can go with a full color. So if we wanted to, we can drop something in here, like let's say we want to use that blue, and then we can go over here and delete this, and now we have blue with this hanging over it right here. And if you want you can delete that as well. Now we just have a clear blue background, and I actually think that looks pretty nice on the site with this blue. But you can also go and do other colors with it. So if you wanted to rearrange it, you can actually click on here and go and move it in whatever direction you want. You can choose a different color for the background of the site. Now, I like a lot of these other ones a little bit more than what we've been using with this purple, but I'm probably going to move over and do something kind of purplish or that goes more with the site. The key thing here is I want this text to still stand out with this white and a black text right up here. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and I'm going to save the changes. I just wanted to show you how to do that real quick. And now let's dive into this pricing plan right here. So there's a lot of little things that we can do within this plan. If we click on where it says module settings, it's going to bring these options up. So we have the silver, the gold, and the platinum plans here. So if we actually click into, let's click into the silver, we're going to have a few different options. So right here we'll have the title, we have the subtitle. So if you want to add one, I'm just going to write subtitle just to show you. And it's actually light color here, so you barely can see it. I'm going to go and click over here, go to where it says subtitle text, and here's how you would edit that. You can actually change the color of it right there, or you can go back here and delete it. So if we go back over, now we'll go into silver, subtitle. I'm going to delete that out of there. But that's how you would add one. You can change the currency here. You can change the frequency. Let's say if you don't even want it to be monthly, you can just get rid of that. Or you can have it just be month, and it automatically adds in that slash here. And here's the price. You can also change that, and the button text. So it says select right now. You could go with get me or something like get this deal or something. Now if we scroll down here, we can see that we have these different options within the plan. So let's just say, since this is the first plan, we want not all of these options to be available. So this one right here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options, while this one has 4. What we can do is we can actually go and add another line right here, and let's just add a minus symbol, and that will basically like light out the plan or make it very faint so you barely can see it. So I'm just going to call this row 5 option, just because it would be the 5th option within this plan. And then what I like to do here is actually do a strike through. So if I highlight that and then I go right here where it says strike through, I put a strike through it, so you can see that that's not included in the plan when you do that. So you're going to have to do a minus sign, and then I did a strike through to make sure it's not included in the plan. So that shows you with this package you don't get it, but this one you would, and this one you would. That's how you could add that in there. So I can actually go over, I'm going to just save it, and I'm going to then go over to where it says gold, and I'm going to click on that one. And something we can do in gold is if we go to design, we can see where it says layout here, and it says make this feature table. So right now it's above the other two as the featured one. We can actually check that off, and now they're all even with one another. So that's how you would actually make that the feature table. The only reason why this one doesn't go down as far is because these two have 5 line items here and this one only has 4. So you need to add a 5th one to make it perfectly even with each other. So what I would do here is I would actually just go back to where it says pricing table settings and go into platinum, then scroll down here, and I would just add in another one. So if we do shift and enter, we can just paste in another one, and now we have 5 rows for each one, 5 different lines, and now they're even. So if that's what you wanted to do, you can just hit save, or you can go and make the gold one the featured one again, going into design, layout, and make this feature to go up higher. So within here you can also add bullets, you can add text, and edit the text with text shadow. So if we wanted to, you can center it, or you can align it to the left so you can see the title right here is changed. And I'm just going to close it. This says title text, so you can change the title text as well. See, it says gold and now it's highlighted. That's really what you have to do. If you want to just mess around in here, you can change different things, see what happens, and then revert back to what it was by just clicking this undo button right here. So again, I'm going to close the title text. This is the body text. You can see where it is when you hover over it as well. So if we hover over body text, you can change the font here. You can make it italic if you want, or just leave it regular. You can change the color if you want. Let's just make it darker, easier to see. And that's something you can do over here with this strike through. You might be able to see it a little bit better, and then just have the strike through rather than it being light like that. So there's a lot of different options that you can do. Let's go to price text. Right here it is this purple color. Let's just say we want it to be green. We could do that. I don't think the green looks that great, but you can easily adjust it and make it different than the other ones, and just save it here and save it again, and then one last save right here at the bottom. So that's how you would adjust this and mess around with this price table to get it to look how your desired look is. And really I just wanted to show you how to do the basics with this price table. There's a lot that you can design in here. These other sections are pretty self-explanatory. I feel like we already covered some of them, and I don't want to be too repetitive. This would be text editing right here. This would be text, and over here is an image. A great way that you can actually add an image without a background here, in case you're wondering, is this site called remove.bg. So if you have an image and you just want to remove the background out of it, you can do that for free with an image here, and just load it up here and take the background right out of it if you want to add a picture like that on your site. Another good thing that you could do is you can actually go in, look at the picture, and go into the media library, and you can see the dimensions. So this picture right here is 466 by 703, and you could make your picture that big and adjust and edit the image size right here to be that size, and then use it on Remove BG and make it fit right for your website. So that's another tip I just wanted to give you real quick. And I am going to move on from this. This is basically self-explanatory, a lot of this other stuff in here. And we're going to exit out of the Visual Builder after we save here. And we're going to move on to the contact page here next. So let's just exit the builder, go over to contact, and we'll get started on this last page, which is the contact form and Google Map here that shows our location. So let's dive into how to start editing this next. Alright, so I'm just going to cover the contact form here, and again this map right here, and I'm not going to go through editing the bottom part there for that social media area where those icons are. So for now I'm just going to enable the Visual Builder, and I'm going to go through the contact form. I know we went through a form on the home page, but here I'm going to go into a few other things that I might not have covered. So we can just click on module settings here, and I'm going to get started by going down to where it says content here in this section and going to email. So here is where you want to put a good email address for your messages that go through this form to actually go to. So wherever you want to receive them, put them here under content, email, and then you can save that setting. So you can also go in here and let's just go, if you wanted to rearrange a form, you wouldn't really want to do this in this case, but you can actually go and drag it and drop it in a different location to rearrange the form. So that is an option I wanted to show you as well. Another thing that you can do is you can actually add CAPTCHA. So if you want to avoid some spam that come through here on these forms, you can go to where it says content again, elements here, show CAPTCHA, and just enable it. Yes, and now we have this 12 plus 14, and it's going to show up with a different equation each time. So people will have to input that to actually submit the form. So that reduces the amount of spam emails that you might get through your form here. Another thing we can do is go over to design, and let's just go to fields here. So let's say you think these fields are a little bit light. You might be able to change the text color right here. So it says fields text color, and it was like a lighter gray color, but we can make it this darker color right here. And you can actually change the background color and everything. So if you wanted to, I'm actually not going to leave it like this, but you could change it to be that. I'm going to make it transparent. And again, you can go through each of these and change these as you would like. I'm actually going to go back up, click right here to close that, and go to where it says CAPTCHA text. And I'll make that CAPTCHA text darker as well, so you can see that a little easier. So if we wanted to, we also can go to where it says design and border right here. And here you can actually add a color to the border. So it's pretty light here. If you wanted to, you can add a darker color so it's easier to see the fields. That's kind of how I would have this look. I want to make it as easy as possible for people to be able to fill out this form and see what they're filling out. So I'm going to just hit save here. There's a lot of other edits you could probably do in here, and I'll go down here and just save it. So next I'm going to move on to the map. So this map module is a little bit tricky. It's always been kind of a love-hate thing for me when it comes to this map module in Divi. But I know some people may want to have this on their website, so I'm going to show you an alternative way to set this up. So the map might not always work for you, and you can delete that easily by just going right here and clicking delete if that's not something you want. And I'm actually going to go right here and I'm actually going to delete it and get rid of this section. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because Google actually needs to have an API key, and you might actually have to put in your credit card or debit card number in there just to get access to have the map display on your website. So if you don't want to do that, here's an alternative way you can do this. You can delete this module here, and then I'm going to actually go and just click right here on this, go to where it says full width code, and then I'm going to paste in a code. So what I did here, I'll just paste it in over here as well. So I went to maps.google.com, and then I actually just searched for the Liberty Bell and took this address. So what I did here, once I found the address, I went to share. So what you'd want to do is find your business address in this case, or whatever location you're trying to link it to. Go to where it says share, embed a map, copy the HTML right here, and it will give the address. It gives ratings right there on the screen, and we can go back over here and you can paste it in over in this section. So I actually may have pasted the wrong thing, it looks like, so let me just delete that. I'm going to paste it in, and now we have this iframe right here. So it doesn't look very good because the other one was full width. So what we do right here is where it says 600 right here, width equals 600. We can just change that to say 100%, and that will make it a full width map here for us to use, and we can just save it from here. And again, we can go down and save it in the lower right if you want, again, a second time here. And that is how you have a map in place. So not only do you have your location in the surrounding area, but you also would have the ratings if you do have business ratings on Google that can display here as well. So I hope this helped with setting up this map, and that's really about all I wanted to show on this page. Next, I'm going to go into how to edit this area here in the footer, and then I'm going to wrap up this video. So let's dive into that part here next. So I'm going to just click Exit Visual Builder, and I'll exit the map here. And what I'll do is I'll go back here into the dashboard, go to where it says Appearance, Customize, and with the customizer we can actually edit this footer area. So now that we're out of the builder, we can see down here that this is our footer area of the site. We can actually go and go to where it says footer on the left side, footer menu, or bottom bar. We can go down here. We can actually go in and delete the items like this. If you want to, you can just click remove. You can go right here, click remove again, and you can go right here and remove again if you don't want them there. I prefer not to have that be cluttered down here. Now we do still have this bottom bar right here. If we want to, we can go back, widgets, and back again to footer. And if we go back in here, we can go to where it says footer elements, and we can uncheck that to get rid of those social media icons down here in the lower right of the site as well, if that's something you'd like to do. And we can just click publish. So if we went back over here, refresh this page, now we're left with a much cleaner bottom bar area. We just have this very little area on the bottom of the site, and it's cleaned up on the footer. So I hope that this was helpful in showing you how to create a website with WordPress. I went through a lot of the basics within the Divi theme here in the Divi builder and how to make changes. And I know that I may not have covered every little aspect of how to make a website here, but I tried to go through what the important ones were and show you how to create different things and how to manipulate pre-existing sites with these starter sites or these layout packs that come with Elegant Themes Divi theme here. So I really hope this was helpful in helping you get the hang of how to use Divi and the builder. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe to my channel for more WordPress related content and videos coming out, and give me a thumbs up if you did like it. I hope to see you in future videos. Thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate it.